What's going on, everybody? JT here. We've got David. We've got Seawill. We've got a brand new intro. I'm loving that. And we've got Benedetto Biondi, the CEO of Folks Finance, the now leading DeFi application on Algorand. So really excited to have this conversation. Welcome to the show, Benedetto. How you doing?
Yep, you're muted.
You have muted yourself, Benedetto. We're off to a great start. No worries.
Too much excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me, guys. A pleasure as always,
Absolutely. And I know a lot of our audience is Algorand based, so I'd imagine a lot of them already know what Folks Finance is, but we have been on a kind of a cross-chain tear lately, so we've definitely gained a couple new followers. Just give the audience a high-level overview of what Folks Finance is, what the mission is over there, and then we'll dig a little deeper from there.
Yeah. Folks Finance, as many know, started as a lending protocol. Then we switched our mission towards being a DeFi Hub. Right now, Folks Finance offers lending. Obviously, our loans are one of the most innovative in the entire DeFi industry. If you haven't tried, I suggest you to try it out. It's pretty cool what we were able to achieve into our lending protocol. Then we added the Algo Liquid governance, which has seen through all its existence an evolution. G-Algo is the twin version of Algo that allows you to participate in Algorand governance at the same time, remain liquids, and you can spend G-Algo in the ecosystem as you want. Then we have X-Algo, which is the interest-bearing version of G-Algo. So for its nature was pretty suitable for cross-chain pollination. So we decided to bridge over other ecosystem, the Algorand governance, and we did that with the X-Algo in the BNB chain. Maybe others are coming in future, who knows? And also we offer swaps. I think I can give a sneak peek here. We used Deflex for a while, since December. But I think if you now go on the Folks Finance app, you are going to see something new, and it's going to be announced tomorrow. So this is kind of a little anticipation, but it's already live on the app. Just tomorrow you will see the official announcement.
We can't get the announcement today. Do I have to pull up the app to see?
Yeah, you should. You go and try to swap, and you will see.
Well, somebody in the comments let us know what that new change is. Go over to Folks Finance and let us know what's going on over there, because we've got to wait till tomorrow apparently for this official announcement. I want you to dive a little deeper into X-Algo, because it's something I'm pretty interested in. A lot of people know that the G-Algo is basically a way for Algorand participants to participate in governance, but still maintain some portion of their liquidity, so they can put Algo into this Folks Finance pool and get G-Algo back and spend it throughout the ecosystem and gain their Algorand governance rewards. What is the difference in X-Algo? I know it's a cross-chain, but what are the main differences there?
So the main difference is basically in the way the commitment works. Let's say with G-Algo, you have to mint during every governance commitment, and you have to burn it at the end, like in the new governance commitment. The reasoning behind this architecture is because we wanted G-Algo to be one-to-one with Algo. So in order that, because this allows a huge composability into the ecosystem, like you can easily plug it into an NFT marketplace that already uses Algo. It is good for swaps. It's highly used in all the dexes on Algorand. Even gaming, there are games who integrated G-Algo as payment system. So that was the main reason why we decided to have G-Algo, not an interest-bearing token, but just the liquid version of Algo while you participate in governance. And also with G-Algo, you are being disconnecting, let's say, your G-Algo from the rewards. So once you commit with your Algo into Algo Liquid governance, you mint G-Algo. Then with G-Algo, you can do anything you want. You could sell it right after, but you are being receiving you are going to receive the Algorand rewards anyway in your wallet. Indeed, Xalgo is slightly different. The main difference is related to the way you receive the rewards. So the rewards are actually being intrinsically accrued into your Xalgo holding. So when you commit Algo into Algolit Good Governance, the Xalgo version, in that case, you are receiving the underlying value of the Xalgo, which, as I said, it's an interesting winning token. So its value is going to grow over time. And the way it's growing, it's because it is accruing rewards on top of governance. So let's say that the first round, it's minted 1-to-1, of course. So you have, let's say, 100 Xalgo being minted. This means that there are 100 Algo in the pool staying there. By the end of the quarter, we will receive the rewards, like for the smart contract, obviously, will receive the rewards. And the amount of Xalgo which are staying around is still 100. So one Xalgo is not worth anymore 1 Algo, but is worth 1 Algo plus the accrued rewards. So, and this is being automatically happening at every 3 months. So you don't need to recommit, just simply holding Xalgo, you are accruing governance rewards. That's the main difference that we have with Gialgo. It is cross-chain in a way that we need to clarify this, because Xalgo is still minted on Algorand. In order to mint Xalgo, you need an Algorand wallet. We thought that Xalgo was perfectly suitable for a deployment in another ecosystem, because Xalgo wouldn't be useful as Gialgo for the composability in Algorand ecosystem, because Gialgo is 1-to-1, so you can spend it. So Xalgo, it is not, so it's not easy to integrate, for example, on an NFT marketplace, since its value is growing through time. So these let us thinking that then if we really want to bridge over the governance system to the Algorand governance into other ecosystem, Gialgo wasn't suitable at all. But you need an interest-bearing version, because once you mint it, you can just hold it and it accrues rewards. Then just a little comment on the voting power. With Gialgo, obviously, you have voting power into Algorand governance. Folks Finance keep track of how much you minted, so it gives you voting power into that period proportionally to how much you minted. But with Xalgo, there is no way of doing that, because as for its nature, Xalgo can be sold and someone else is having it. So it's not actually the one who minted it. So we couldn't track this voting power. So we decided, actually, we proposed to our forum and later on our voting system few measures of how to handle the voting power, and that was underneath Xalgo. And the community voted for the option that allows the Gialgo holders to proportionally receive the Algo governance power, the Algo governance power, which is underlying the total amount of Xalgo minted. So basically, the pool of Xalgo as underlying Algo. So these are being this voting power is directly going to increase the Gialgo holders' voting power. So it's like, if you have Gialgo, you are not voting just with your voting power, but also with the one that is basically delegated from the Xalgo holders.
Nice. And it looks like our chat has obviously went ahead and figured out, some of the alpha news that's dropping on Folks Finance, which it looks like it's called Folks Router. Is the new dropper, a router for people swapping. And it looks like some people in the comments are saying that it's cheaper than some of the other options that they've had as far as using Deflex or DeFly. So that's awesome to see. And this kind of can go right into, the next phase of, because what you guys did with Gialgo for the Algorand ecosystem was really unlocking, people who want to stake, their algo for governance and participate in that, but still they want to be able to use it during that 3-month period, especially if you're an XGov. It's even going a step beyond. But now you guys are bringing a proposal forth to try to unlock even more value in the Algorand ecosystem in the form of NFTs. And this isn't just the NFT market as far as, art and even gaming NFTs, but it's also some of the real world assets that you have with Lofty AI. And I'm sure there's tons of other, like Flybondi, maybe even like an agro token at some point.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about what you guys, exactly, TravelX. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are trying to, get past and what that could look like.
Yeah, so this is something that requires me a little bit of background here. So since the inception of Volks Finance, we have always been talking with other projects in the ecosystem that wanted to allow, for example, the permissioned market like Lofty into the DeFi. This has been always a challenge also in other ecosystems such as Ethereum, because matching the permissioned and the permissionless world, it's tricky. So, for example, on Ethereum, let's say we have Aave. There are other protocols that have built this middle infrastructure that allows the merging of those two worlds. But in Algorand, so far there wasn't, let's say, anybody that was trying to tackle this in a proper way. It is also probably a reason behind the, let's say, their quest, the demand and offer. Like, this is a big project. Like, you can consider it like a small Volks Finance. Let's say a Volks Finance at the beginning. It requires smart contracts. It requires a UI. It requires audits. It's quite expensive to build something like this, and you don't really know if you are going to have immediate return. It's something that requires a fundraise, and it's an entire project. So we've been waiting if someone was able to build something appropriate that could plug into Volks Finance lending markets. This hasn't happened so far. Let's say there was Alandia before. Alandia was properly suited for NFTs. Then it also went down. And at some point we thought, okay, why we don't try to get some funds, not all to cover the cost, because it would be probably too much even for this round of governance. We are asking for almost 50% of the rewards, and we build it ourselves. We believe that Volks Finance has proven its team skills and value in delivering and building efficient and trustable product over time. And the way we want to do this is that we build the project for the ecosystem. This is a collector between the NFTs, the real world tokenized assets, and DeFi. It is not for Volks Finance per se, it is for everyone. So it's very interesting for me to see it on let's say on the decentralized grant program, seeing how communities reacting to that. I see there is a lot of misunderstanding. People think that us asking for $100,000 is just asking for more money, like we had the funding, I know. But I want to clarify this, and it's the first time I'm talking about it publicly, that Volks Finance has a roadmap. And I challenge to anybody here, like, and all the projects on Algorand to find another project that has delivered it and built so much as Volks Finance. We always used our resources in a very, let's say, savvy way. We always focused on the building. We always pivoted to build and improve the product, listening to the community. I mean, JT here can testify. When we built the V2, I went to all the major users of Volks Finance and said, what do you want it to be seen as an improvement on Volks Finance, right? So we strongly talk with the community all the time. So this project came from us talking very often with the partners, with the NFT marketplace, with the project that tokenize real estate, And there is this need of connecting the lending markets of Volksfinance and this permissioned markets and NFTs. So the way we want to do it is through steps. The first part is a peer-to-peer lending market, NFT lending, that allows the users in a free, like permissionless way, to come with whatever it is they're talking that they worth as a collateral, propose a loan position, and someone else is matching it from the other side. And what's the best place is like of what is better than Volksfinance for going to ask for a loan right now on Algorand. So again, there we believe that we have the audience that can give this liquidity even to the peer-to-peer market. Then there is the evolution, which is the peer-to-pool. So the peer-to-pool will allow whitelist of the let's say the NFTs or the tokenized assets as a collateral through the community vote. And it also involves risk pool, so it's a little bit more difficult. But for us, the first step is let's build this marketplace where, by the way, there is a revenue share with the project that also are going to support it. So, for example, there will be auctions, and the auction can be run. Let's say it's an NFTs that as arts can be the auction can run also on Rand Gallery or any other marketplace, and where the auction then will be happening, the revenue is flowing in. So again, we decided to build it for the ecosystem, and if it passes, we will make it. It's also going to be very challenging to build it in 3 months. It's a big project, but we believe that we can do that. And one more thing that is very interesting is that you can tokenize your loan position itself. So even the loan can later go on the secondary market. So DeFi is beautiful for this, right? Because it allows a huge composability. It allows simple people to be investors. It allows simple people to kind of become trader, like in a permissionless way. So yeah, that's what we want to improve in Algorand.
Well, thank you. That's a great breakdown. Just one other question regards to this platform. Will this be integrated directly in the folks, or will this be like a separate platform that people will be using?
Sorry, can you repeat it? It was lagging for me.
Yeah, it said, will this be a separate platform, or will all of this be integrated directly into the folks' main platform?
Yeah, well, we'll be in the same website. Okay. It is different contracts, obviously. We want, the mission of Volksfinance is to create a DeFi hub, which offer multiple options for the users. And we have seen that our users love it. Since the integration of Deflex as a router, we have seen more volume on Volksfinance than Alamex itself, which is the major point there, right? So this is very interesting dynamic. So the user actually like to have a point of reference where they can do multiple things. And again, as I said before, the best point for lending right now is obviously Volksfinance. But if you think about it, those, let's say, even connecting to an NFT marketplace, those two ecosystems are very segregated. Yes, there are common parts, but if you would have NFTs that are visible into Volksfinance because let's say, someone is putting them as a collateral, and as a lender, you could provide loan. You also look at these NFTs and you're like, this has value. Maybe I should also start to think to buy NFTs, so the DeFi guys, they could actually flow into NFTs. And at the same time, if the NFT marketplace allows, integrates also them the opportunity of seeing the NFT loans, then people will think the same. Oh, okay, look, I have NFTs, there is DeFi, I can also merge with that. So I see it as very beneficial for the entire ecosystem.
One thing I would just like to add on top of that is, obviously Algorand had some, we already kind of had this product in the ecosystem. And obviously it wasn't, it's already gone. It didn't last the, test of time, I guess you could say. What makes you guys confident that with what you're building, it will last, it'll be successful, people will want to use it, in your eyes?
Look, it might be that this is not going to be extremely used, but there is a need of this because it's infrastructure. So let's say if you in Algorand, you wouldn't have a DEX. You wouldn't have people building token, like launching token, right? Because there is no place to trade. So if you don't have a place where you can merge permissioned markets with DeFi and allowing liquidity of DeFi to go into those assets, then you are disincentivizing people to build new things. But if they know that they can leverage existing infrastructure to build something new, then they probably would come. Like it's the same. Also, we can compare this. A lot of people don't come to Algorand to build because there aren't much of tools. Yes, it is a thing. So better it is the ecosystem in terms of infrastructure, and more people it's likely to come and build on top of it.
Speaking of building, right? Can we want to give some highlights and shout outs for y'all? So recently we know you have Folks Finance won some awards internationally. Can you speak on some of the highlights y'all have for your platform in the last year and what that means in terms of y'all winning an award for your building?
Yeah, so we won a bunch of awards. One was from Inatba, which is the first one was from Inatba. It's the association elected by the EU Commission for Trusted Blockchain Applications. So it's a very nice association. They always do a lot of research. We collaborate with them. And being elected in this environment was super interesting. On that same day, I was on a panel with members of the EU Commission that are the one who are writing the regulatory frameworks for crypto. And having let's say an island into those ecosystems is extremely important. Also because I always say that Algorand. We are proud of being a builder on Algorand because we believe that it's the blockchain that wants to go towards institution. We believe that if there is a place where DeFi and traditional finance will merge, it is going to be Algorand because of a lot of things. The reputation of Silvio, it always worked, never went down. The instant settlement, technically and also in terms of reputation, Algorand is the right place to do that. Look, this was the first. Then we arrived third in another competition at the EBC, the European Blockchain Convention. There we were nominated. I remember we asked the community, the Algorand community, to vote for us. We passed it into the finalist, and then we arrived third. It was a pleasure to do that. And the last one was from another association, Alastria, where I don't remember what was the exact title, but even there, another institutional grade association that recognized Folks Finance. It's extremely satisfying for us, for the team, I believe also for our community, because it's Folks Finance. I always say it's not of us, of the developers, of the team. It is of the community. We always try to listen to the community as much as possible. So having acknowledgement that we are doing a good work, it pushes us to do a better work.
Excellent. And that's what we all like to hear. JT, you got something?
Yeah, I'd actually like to move the conversation a little bit to consensus rewards. This is something that Folks Finance recently introduced to increase participation in Algorand consensus. And ever since the launch of one-click nodes that John Allen Woods has been all the rage about, and the launch of the reward system for consensus, we've seen, let's see if I can pull this up. We have seen... We've seen an increase of about 33% in proposers over the last month, and an increase of about 60% of total voters over the last month, which in my opinion is fantastic and exactly what the ecosystem needs, is bringing the online stake or the voting stake from about 13% to about 21%. So certainly headed in the right direction. But could you speak a little bit more to this on what prompted you to do these rewards in the first place, and then how you think it's going from here?
So first of all, here I want to public thanks our old common friend Ibu. That was his idea.
Great idea, Ibu.
Yes, we receive every 3 months the targeted rewards for for DeFi. And Ibu was saying, guys, I believe we should shaken up a bit the ecosystem. There is a huge need right now. Everyone knows. We need to show how beneficial could be to give reward into consensus. And I liked the idea from the very beginning. Then we were discussing a bit how much we should give. And then we decided on 50,000 algo, which is not a huge amount, definitely for consensus is nothing, but it's the right number enough to demonstrate that it can work. So for me, this was a small move in order to get stats and then go to the foundation with something bigger, right? So, and it worked, like you just showed it, like 50,000 algo, and we improved a lot. So I don't know how much I can publicly say about it, because there are processes from the Algorand Foundation, but if you don't know, I am one of the DeFi representative of the Governance Advisory Committee. And yesterday I presented those numbers as well. There was the committee yesterday. And I also gave up a proposal to improve this and to make it better, because it works. So there are standard procedures, but you will see next week something coming out. We'll get the community feedback, and then maybe we will see what the governance wants. But I believe that, so I have my opinion about governance in general, that it was from the very beginning, always said out loud. I believe that we don't need passive governors. The vanilla governance, it is useful, of course, because some people don't want to be in DeFi. But also, I believe, like, when I'm going to vote for the government, right? No one is paying me, right? Like, I do it; it's my duty. Like, I should do it with pleasure, right? So I agree with the incentive system. Also, obviously, Fox Finance has built an entire ecosystem around it. I believe it is powerful for the ecosystem for creating financial tools that like Algo that generates volumes, trading, engagement in the community. So it's an important dynamic. But those rewards must be given to actual people that are useful for the ecosystem. If I am just voting, yes, I am useful because I'm participating in the governance. I'll say, but I'm not holy. Indeed, if you are a governor, you are participating in DeFi, you are generating TVL, you are taking a risk of using your funds into smart contracts. Then why not have us an higher level? I'm participating in governance, but I'm also doing consensus. It's okay, double engagement, double efforts. I also need to run the node. So it's, in my opinion, this was needed into the rewards because are actually active governors, which are not just voting and sitting upon rewards of governance. I very often say that we don't need passive sharks into the ecosystem. We want people that are active. We want people that actually do well in the ecosystem. We want people that buy NFTs. I was super happy about the proposal that was brought from Agash in the last quarter. It is working well. Yesterday he presented the numbers. Great, fantastic. I think they've done a great job. We need the rewards to go towards active users in the ecosystem. So if those users are also helping the consensus, I'm more happy.
And we have some questions here from some of the viewers on this topic, and we'll go ahead and jump into those. And we have some others, and we're going to get to those, but we'll touch on these since we're talking about it. Everyday Algonaut's got a few. He says, is this consensus product something related to Folk's product, or is it for any consensus participants?
So guys, I cannot give too much details. So like everything will be clearer in the next week, I believe. But the way I think of it is that everyone can allow consensus participation and receive rewards from the governance. It's then Fox Finance is doing now. Okay, it's just one because that's the moment of it's it's just like this because AlgoFi also went down. Otherwise, there would be also AlgoFi. I always think for the ecosystem and never just for Fox Finance. Obviously, Fox Finance is one of my, let's say, priority during the daytime, but who knows me knows how much I care about the ecosystem.
Yeah. And then another question for kind of piggyback off that, Everyday Algonauts got, who is incentivized in this consensus mechanism, the account which is online or the server who is running the algo, I guess the algo server?
Again, let's not ask me too much of the tailored things because I don't know what's going to be actually proposed there. I just, let's say, drop the
Fair
bomb,
enough.
then I don't know how this bomb will shape.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I believe it's the first part is going to be who is going online.
So
Fair
to
enough,
answer
yeah.
Everyday Algonaut's last question, where can we get more info on this? Wait.
Tune back in a week.
Yeah, tune back in a
Yeah.
week. Stay on the socials. Make sure you're following Folks Finance. I'm sure they'll drop as much of that as they can. Let's see. There was some other questions I wanted to go back up to. This is one I was kind of interested, just real quick. I would like to see any token to be borrowable on Folks before there is an NFT, borrowing marketplace. I do know that you guys added Opulus, and this is just one thing I've kind of wondered. How do you guys go about adding new assets to actually be on your all's lending and borrowing protocol? Is it kind of, how decentralized is that, I guess?
I would love that any token is borrowable on Fox Finance. But I tell you, like, what is the standard, let's say, flow that we follow when listing a new asset. First of all, the pools are not unlimited. We have an hard cap, which I don't remember how much is it. It's still a big number, but there is a limit there. So let's keep this in mind. Second, yes, listing a borrowable asset is easier than definitely one that can use it as a collateral. But it is still needed to have due diligence regarding that, because the asset, if it can be manipulated on the DEX price, that is a danger. If there is one holder that has a huge percentage of the supply, that is a danger because he can take advantage of the loan. Plus, definitely, yes, we have a system that can reduce this risk. For example, we have borrow caps, we have deposit caps, so we can always list minor token and be in a let's say, risk-controlled zone. Yes, I agree with you. But nevertheless, it is a risky process. For example, even with Pepe, we have been thinking for a while about it. Then we were monitoring how was the ongoing. For us, it could have been, who knows, at the beginning, when you see those spike, then you may think, okay, this maybe it's going to last 1 month. Is it really worth to do a few days of work to list it, have 5 people working on it? We also wait our own resources. It's developers, it's economic team that has to study the parameters. It's not that easy. But what I can ask you and suggest you is that if there is a token that the community wants to list, please raise it in the forum of Fox Finance. We read it all the time. There is no message that is not being taken care of. And also try to list the reasoning why this token should be listed, and if it's possible, as well to define the parameters for the loans. So I'm talking about the loan to value and etc. So that's how it usually works. Then obviously it's super important the TVL that is in the DEX, because the liquidation are happening directly there. So in some case, I won't name any token here, we have looked on how big was the largest provider into the DEX, then what would happen if this provider would remove the liquidity. For example, I can tell you if the liquidity goes a certain threshold in the DEX itself, the protocol has a safety measure that stops the loan. So you will have open loan on something that you can't even do nothing about it. I think you can just repay. Yes, the repay it's allowed, but it is not a pleasant situation. So we want to avoid such a situation in the lending protocol. So we tend to list assets we are very secure about it.
No, and that definitely makes a lot of sense. Especially, when you look at meme coins, things do come up and they rise so fast and they fall. You really want to make sure that you're actually putting your team to the best of their ability. Something else I want to touch on here, and this is obviously just going to highlight, for those in the chat maybe who are not familiar with Folks Finance app, this is what you would see when you log in. But you see some of the, the higher APYs over here on the right with your all's lending. Those are the packed pools that, people can use. And obviously, I think one of the biggest things that DeFi and Algorand has struggled with is attracting Bitcoin, Ethereum deposits and really getting those, APYs and rewards up. You see over here, you see 7% for USDC, almost, a little over 8% for Tether. How does Algorand DeFi attract Bitcoin, more people to bridge those, wanted assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum so that, more of these pools and stuff, we can really start getting more attraction, on the bigger scale, like against Aves and the bigger DeFi giants of the space?
Yeah. So also here, it's a point that I always tried to, let's say, to hold the flag and try to give the good example. So, for example, DeFi Llama a while ago, like maybe a few months ago, added the field where you could see the different APRs in different protocol on an asset, right? So I was like, this is super important. Like I said to my devs, few hours, and we had it live. At the same time, I went into the Slack with the other builders, and I said, hey guys, this is out. I think it's extremely important to do it, all of your protocol. Like we want to give visibility to the entire Algorand ecosystem. And then everybody does what they want. I can't force them to do things. But again, here, guys, I believe that if you like a protocol in general, whatever it's Fox Finance or someone else, the community, it's everything. Like if the builders doesn't listen to you, you shouldn't follow them. This is DeFi. It's like the community should be everything, in my opinion, here. So if you see a strategy that Fox Finance is not doing, please come and tell us, because we would love that. It is not easy for us to keep track of everything. It is impossible, obviously. We try to do our best. For example, I don't know how much I can tell about the future all the time. I need to double think when saying something. Yeah, no,
you can tell it all. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We are bridging new assets into Algorand through Wormhole. We work closely with the Wormhole team. So those are going to go in the lending pool. That's what you showed before. That's by the way, let's give a sentence for this. Lending pools in Fox Finance are pools where you can deposit at the same time into packed liquidity provision, plus those assets are being lent in Fox Finance. So the APR you are earning is high, also because it's composed between the lending APR and the trading fees coming from the AMM. So we are bridging new assets that into Algorand, and the strategy we are having towards that is we went to, let's say, the chain itself and said, hey, look, we are going to bridge into Algorand your token. We would like to show off this because it's going to be a high APR, and it's beneficial for them. We are incentivizing not Algo in that case, is another token. But at the same time, we would like to take from this visibility into their ecosystem. So we are like, could you retweet it? Could you go on a Twitter space with us? That's creating definitely, let's say, visibility around the APR. Then, as I said, there are aggregators, there are informative pages like DeFi Llama. If there is something that is missing to us, you could just tell us. Unfortunately, also many of those aggregators don't have Algorand support, so it's not always easy to integrate, but we do our best. Also, if I see an opportunity, I go directly to the Algorand team and say, hey guys, I think you should talk to this project and let's integrate Algorand. So trust me, I'm the first one who pushes this. But if you have some new idea, I have to listen.
Well, what's dope is that I hear MetaMask is being integrated, and so I feel like that would be a good push. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but a lot of users have MetaMask. What's your opinion on MetaMask?
I'm going to disappoint you probably because
no.
The MetaMask part that we are having integrated, and I don't know how this totally works. It's not going to be enough to support DeFi. So yes, it's a great thing, it's a huge thing, but for us, it's not changing much as it's not going to support that.
Understood.
You touched on something that I wanted to actually bring up. You didn't mention it by name, but you did mention that you're, bringing new wrapped assets to Algorand. Is this from the Folks Feed Oracle? Is that what you're mentioning?
You are digging, but.
Oh man, is another thing we can't talk too deeply on.
No, yes, of course. But before something goes into Fox Finance, it has to go on Fox Feed. So some of those are going to be on Fox Finance. Yes,
some of them. All right,
any
so
bridging the Cosmos ecosystem?
You mean in what sense?
The Atom token, things of that nature. They have a great ecosystem of interoperability, and I'm always like saying the Algorand people should tap in over there.
So, for example, when listing of those new assets, what we look at obviously was first of all, we look at the market cap, because we want to have like from the top-down approach, and then the potential from whales to bridge quickly enough liquidity on the DEX. So that's also a crucial part for us. But anything you would like to post, I'll tell you the same thing to list. I'll give you the same the same suggestion I gave to the audience. It's like, just write in the forum. Let's see what the community thinks, and then we will work with it.
Y'all hear that? Write them favorite tokens that you want bridged over. You get enough people, something might happen.
Yeah, and I'll say from experience, it's it's one of those things where you don't get that too often in the crypto space, but at least with Folks Finance, they really do listen quite a bit. I mean, I know I personally have had plenty of suggestions that you guys have listened to, very well. Honestly, you guys listen right away, really. So honestly, they're very receptive to feedback or criticism or suggestions or whatever it might be. So shoot them an email, hit them up on GitHub. Check out that XGov proposal. Definitely consider voting for it if you feel like it. Obviously, you're in power of your own algo, so if you feel like not voting for it, you can do that too. That's the perk of governance. But I have another community question here on the lending pools. The lending pools are something I wanted to touch on, and you did do a high level overview of them already, so we're not going to go there. But Dan is asking, when could we use the lending pools as collateral? So like I say, I'm using the lending pool. Is that even possible?
I believe for some assets, yes, not probably for everyone. I haven't it in top of my mind right now, but indeed, it's one of the other requests that should go through the forum. Ask it, maybe add some reasoning, have a look at the economic model of Fox Finance in the docs. We explicit how we decide everything, so we are there to listen to you. Like, if there isn't if something is not a collateral, it's because we believe it's risky to have it, right? So also it might be that we believe that it's not going to be largely used. So just double check what you want, and then ask. We will try if we can. If we don't do something, guys, it's because we believe it is risky. Obviously, we would like to have as many collateral as possible, as many assets being borrowed. Of course, this for us is just, it will be revenue for the protocol, right? So it will be growth in TVL. it will be stupid to not do it, but there is always pro and cons.
Absolutely. And I know there's a project out there. Sorry, I'll go real quick, and then you can go, David. There's a project out there, and Dan's asking a good question about it. I mean, that I used to use a lot. I know C-Will used it a handful of times, but then it got shut down. And it does seem like Folks Finance is sort of integrating or becoming the one-stop shop for DeFi in a way. And I think it's magnificent, but is there a chance of maybe folks reviving something like Deridex or an options protocol, building one out that's maybe similar in concept? What do you think there?
My mouth cannot talk about this.
Oh man, we know what that means.
Obviously means that it's in there. If it's in our mind, it's probably in your mind.
Of course, absolutely.
Correct. So this is what you said. It's very right. So look, I'll give you an hint. So when we built the liquid governance, the leveraged governance, it was because we saw a lot of users manually looping their G-algo to borrow more algo. So we were like, if they are doing it, obviously they're doing manually. They would use it also if we automate it. So obviously there are people who use the loans for more advanced trading feature. Right. We look at it, obviously, we see there are users doing it. So we think, okay, if 10 people are doing it manually, probably 100 would do it if we automate it. Right. So I'll tell you, this is just our way to think about it.
Yeah, and I definitely, and just like you said, obviously everything automated, like, for DeFi to reach mass adoption, it has to be like, everything has to be easy. One-click nodes, people just need to be able to load up an app on their phone, or their computer, wherever their wallet is at, where they feel safe. They want to, connect to these things, and they need to be able to read it, click it, do it fast. Like there doesn't need to be a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of, things to worry about. And I feel like as we get closer to that, that's when you're going to see that, us really start to reach mass adoption. And one thing that I just kind of want to pose to you, the bear market, obviously for Algorand, has not been, the easiest thing to weather. I know there's tons of people who are in the ecosystem who are just praying for a bull market for altcoins, just so we can get some type of positive price action. But this question kind of comes like, what are your thoughts as far as like DeFi in general, right? Like, where are we at on the macro stage? I mean, obviously you even have some of the biggest platforms that obviously they've seen a lot of TVL sucked out of the ecosystem. You're seeing, the SEC and the Fed doing everything they can to limit banks from opening up accounts for people and for new, applications to really start. Where do you see DeFi at right now, and how do we kind of move into the next era, I guess, or the next, big adoption wave?
So I have my opinions regarding what's going to be let's say the ways of having a larger adoption in DeFi. One of the things which I am really bullish on is the introduction into the permissionless market of real world assets. That's why I said that we need in Algorand such a connector, because as soon as we enlarge, even let's think about the lending protocol itself, right? As soon as we will enlarge the type of collateral, not just crypto, because someone to hold a crypto token has to do research, due diligence. It's a work that it's also knowledge that not everybody does. Okay, obviously there are people who buy blindly, but let's say an investment on a property, on an house that is paying, on the rental, it's kind of into the mind of everyone, right? So if you imagine that this could be a token, right? It's just a token, but on an app, and you wouldn't even know that blockchain or a crypto, whatever, and you just click buy, and then you click it collateralized to borrow, then yes, my father would use it, right? My father wouldn't use Folks Finance for the Bitcoin. It doesn't hold any, right? But that is more in the range of the let's say the larger audience. I don't expect that everyone in the future will learn about crypto. Probably everyone will learn about stable coins. As we have seen PayPal, for example, deploying their own. But crypto as, let's say, an investment, I'm not believing that will be in the common of everybody. I believe that it's more the utility behind blockchain, stablecoin, CBDCs that will be more in, let's say, on the hands of everyone. Then one more thing that I believe is really needed to the industry, it's a less frictioned usability of the app, because and on Fox Finance, for example, we constantly work on that. I believe that in the next bull run, we will have a different wave of DeFi app, thanks to the messaging layer that are now moving a lot of rumors, Wormhole, Layer Zero, CCIP, Axelar. All of those are new technologies that allows interoperability between chain, and then reflects obviously into cross-chain dApps that will allow let's say a seamless integration of multiple chains, so you don't need any more bridging. And that is important in terms of how easy are to use those apps. And that together, will bring, let's say, the interest of other type of assets easy to use. Then yes, we will be able to build the apps that are interesting for my father again. I always use this comparison. But sometimes I am also pessimistic. Sometimes, for example, I was reading a while ago this post on Radiant, is a lending protocol. I've tweeted about it a few days ago, and it's this lending protocol that I never liked when you borrow something and you are being paid to borrow. So for me, it makes no sense. So I looked at those and I was like, oh, wow, this protocol is having a huge growth. They have now 600 million TVL. How do they do that? And I went to look at the retention rates they have over the loan, and it was 75%. Fox Finance has 10%. I was I'm shocked. Those people are paying people to borrow, but at the same time, they are converting their token into USDC, because people pay the loan in USDC, they give their governance token as rewards, and then they keep 65% of the interest. Wow, that's 75. And I believe that those is not helping the industry overall, because yes, it is creating volume, it is creating other protocols that blooms and creates TVL hype. But let's say the simple user that is saying just the API and is not going there to do the math behind the protocol, is then receiving some token that then are worth less, and he's paying interest for it. It's not nice. You are not giving a real utility to this app. It's just an interest-related hype. And same, another example, I don't know if you followed the Curve hack, and then the Curve founder having a huge loan on Aave. And
Yep.
if this loan was going to be liquidated, it was a huge damage for DeFi. Now,
Right.
look, at Fox Finance, we don't even use any of our treasury into DeFi yield, because it's a treasury that, first of all, the community treasury of the community. So if we decide to do something, we do it together. But even our, let's say, our own treasury of the fundraise, we always have been as much as safe use as possible, because I don't know, those, let's say, degen mode is not helping much the industry. I believe that builders has to be more towards building utility and building teams and protocols that wants really to help the industry, not that they want to make money in the short term. I believe that good builders, good protocol will make money in the long term together with their community.
I definitely agree. And I definitely think that in the next bull run, obviously there's going to be the things that are hyped up to, the 10th degree that run hot, and people will obviously probably get sucked into them. But there's a reason why Folks Finance is still here after one of the longest bear markets in crypto, and it's still building. And it's because you guys do have a good community, and you're actually building for what's needed, and not just, to show off some fluff. So obviously appreciate everything you guys are doing for the Algorand ecosystem.
Yeah, keep up the great work. We need all these projects that are building great infrastructure to stay strong, until this next run comes. That's the big push here, and we're doing the same. We're trying to do our part with the next block.
Yes, you do, guys. It's true. Like I totally agree. I'm a huge fan of content creators, people like you that wants to educate people. Like JT knows how glad I was when he was showing how to use Fox Finance when it was more frictioned, right? It's really needed. That's we are still OGs into this industry. And we do our job as builders. You do your jobs as content creator, and the community does its job as community. So we are all here together to revolutionizing this world.
Well said.
Absolutely. Yeah, this has been a fantastic conversation. I want to let everyone know that is still watching to the end. If you're watching live on YouTube or Twitter, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this so people can watch it once it's done. It'll be available to replay as soon as we end this live session. And if you're watching after the live session, hit us up in the comments down below with what your favorite part of the episode was. Benedetto, this has been fantastic. It seems like there's plenty more questions in our live chat, and it seems like there's a lot you couldn't even mention. So we're going to have you back on again sometime soon, whether here or on a Twitter space, and we'll follow up and see where Folks Finance is at that point.
Anytime, guys. I am also congratulating you for the huge lineup that you have made for the next show. So I was very surprised when I saw it. Like, congrats, you're doing great. Keep going.
Appreciate
like
it. We're
this.
making.
I will be happy to back every time you want.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We've been making a big push here and glad it's being noticed across the ecosystem. Everybody, go to folks.finance to learn more. Check them out on Twitter. Check out the video description down below for links to our sponsors and links to learn more about this show. And we'll catch you in the next episode, which is Saturday. We're going live on Saturday this week instead of our every Thursday. We'll have Messina 1 on Saturday morning at, I believe, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be there, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, guys.